Yo, what's going on, boys? It's your man back for another figure review. Now I gotta say thank you guys so much for all the how well the 500 subscriber special has been doing. I had a great time making that video. It was a lot of fun, and it was good to finally come back and fix my mistakes of the original top 10 FNAF figures list, which was garbage. Terrible list. But coming back to the redo reviews, today we have Scrap Baby. Now this is a figure that I reviewed when it came out originally, a couple of years ago. It was a really good figure then, and as you can see in the top 10 list, it still is. I won't tell you where it's specifically placed, but you could probably guess. This figure came out in the original Pizzeria Simulator wave, and since there is no box and it is a Build-A-Figure, I'll just grab some random figure, show you it around. You can see there's the baby arm in the box. Came with this Foxy. And there you go, Scrap Baby, Build-A-Figure. Just pretend that this box was made specifically for the figure. Let's go. All right. Bringing this figure back in now for the paint and sculpt. Now, I said it in my top 10 review, or figures list, but the sculpt and paint on this figure is really unbelievable. I think the way that Funko put all the detail on some of the mechanical parts, like the legs and arms, and just the sheer amount of detail that's all over every little part of this figure is amazing. And for the figures are quite expensive now, but if you could find the whole wave for around, I don't even really have a price to say, but around retail for each figure, it would be 100% get, because this is, even for the couple of figures that are crap in that wave, I think this is 100% worth it. Now, they didn't make one of these for the glow-in-the-dark wave because, I don't know, it actually would have been really cool to have a glow-in-the-dark Scrap Baby with the clear translucent plastic. But I'm guessing with the design of it, it would probably be too much to try and sculpt all that detail with that plastic, because I'm sure that plastic is a lot more brittle and isn't as sturdy as this. Now, putting this back. For the articulation, it is really good. Well, to an extent, because the head here, the joints really didn't fit. Like, I would pull it off, but I don't think I could get either the joint or the head back on. So the ball joint in the neck is way too big to fit into the head. So when you get the figure, if you do, you got to 100% put the head in like boiling hot water for a while, loosen it all the way up, and then you got to stuff it on there because it does not work good. And the articulation is very hindered because of that. It's very choppy, and I'm a little scared of using it a lot because I don't want it to break. But it looks up that far, down pretty decently. You get the pivot, all the usual stuff that comes along with a ball joint at the neck, except you can't really use this one. At the shoulders, the arms go up really far, just about 90. There's a rotation at the shoulder. Then there's a rotation at the elbow. The bend, also really good. I think the articulation on these figures is pretty good, except a lot of them, they don't cut the arms or the legs out enough that they would kind of bend far enough with the articulation, or the way they use their articulation. Then at the hand, sadly, there's no rotation on this big gripping claw hand, and there is also no rotation on the other big gripping claw hand. But the articulation still fits very well, and with the you can kind of swivel it. You can get your change out of it. You can get whatever you need. Oh, sorry about that. But again, the paint and sculpt on some of these parts is just unbelievable, and I think this is 100% the best FNAF wave we've gotten to date, because the figures were all good, the articulation and paint is all good, and then the Build-A-Figure is even better, and that's what I like to see in a lot of these figure waves. It's very rare to get something like this, but when you do, it is a treat. At the waist, there is our swivel. This one is actually hidden very nicely. A lot of them kind of don't look good once you move them. You move it the first time, it kind of cracks and breaks, and then it never fits right. This one, I'm happy to say, is not like that. Now the legs are a little hindered from the skirt. The skirt is kind of pliable plastic, but there's no real reason to push it forward for the articulation. Goes forward that far. It can go back very well. You get, of course, a little swivel here. At the knee, there's a swivel. And then the bend, it's pretty decent. It might be better on this leg because this leg has less stuff in the way on the back, but the articulation is still very nice. There is no ankle articulation, and the wheels on the roller skates do not roll, which I'm not glad because the figure probably wouldn't be able to stand up if it had rolling wheels like that. So I think that is a plus that they didn't do it. All right, for our accessories, this figure does not come with any, but I do not think that's a bad thing at all. This figure, 100% alone, is great. It's a great standalone figure, and even a great Build-A-Figure itself. Put a lot of detail into this figure, and the articulation is definitely to stay with it. Now, even though there's no accessories, I think you could kind of get accessories the way if you like want to rip an arm off or something, you could put it in the claw or with the gripping hand. I'm not sure if that fits in with the lore, but it would be pretty cool because Scrap Baby looks like she's an animatronic dismantler. Like, why would you have that big claw and this big grabbing hand if you ain't gonna use it? Putting it back now. Stand up, please. For some comparisons, this is where stuff gets good. Move it back. First, we'll compare it to the other baby figure we have in the line. And I think this is 100% an upgrade. They took an already pretty good figure, which I think this figure is actually quite underrated. Excuse me. When I first reviewed this figure, I think I said it was bad, if I even reviewed this figure, because I never really liked it, and I always thought it looked a little weird. It was always kind of a goofy design. But looking back now, compared to even some of the figures we get recently, I think this is a high quality, great figure. This baby may be. If you want this figure to get a redo review, tell me. And if you don't, also tell me, because I won't do it then. Now bringing it in to review, or to compare with the rest of the wave, here is Rockstar Foxy. He can stand up. We got Pig Patch here. Rockstar Freddy. I hope these all fit. We got my man L Chip. Gonna have to bring it back just a little bit. Fix the light. And then just to make some people upset, I have one glow-in-the-dark figure. And then we also have Lefty. There we go. Now I think this wave looks great altogether. And I like, again, it is probably one of the best waves we have gotten in this line. I think it's this one, and then right behind it is the, I was going to say FNAF 2, the FNAF 4 wave with the Nightmare animatronics. That is an amazing wave. And this wave is also close to that. Or this wave is better. The other one is close. Because that wave, oh, you had Funtime Foxy, and then the Bath couldn't stand up. Ooh, that's just two bad things. But this whole wave is amazing. The exclusive is good. Oh, see, now I'm making myself think again because the exclusive was really good in the second wave too. Alright, I can't even get started right now. These figures all look great together, and I think they have that look that makes them all look great together. They look like they're all from the same game, and they are. Which is good because usually they like to mix and match for some reason. But this wave did not. This is the best wave I have ever seen in my entire existence. So now getting them out of the way. Also, before I move them all, I do think Scrap Baby has a really good height. I like when they make kind of, well, I'm going to say Bath. I like when they make the Bath figures bigger and easily higher quality than the rest of the wave. Because then it makes you think I should really get the wave because I get this great figure to go with it. And I think the height too, I'm not sure how they're supposed to scale in-game. I have no idea. I've never even seen them standing next to each other. But I think the scaling is good. It looks very good, and I like that her being a little taller because it kind of adds that, I don't know, rulership? I'm not sure. As you can see, I'm not the best with words. I am good with figures though. Yo, I'll pose a figure and knock you off your socks. Knock your socks off. Now moving these out the way. And we'll do a couple of more comparisons. We'll bring in Glamrock Freddy. And a little thing, I have decided if I do see the rest of this, the Security Breach wave, I am going to buy it. Because I'm getting hyped now for the game. We're getting trailers and everything. I'm excited. So I will be doing that. And if I get them, I will review them. Another comparison here. We'll change it up a bit. We'll show Marvel Select Carnage. And this is usually where I'd say if they look good on a shelf with any other things. And I think this figure is just like Springtrap. I think she could fit any display. If you have a horror display or just like a display of just characters you like, I think this figure would 100% fit and look amazing there. Alright guys, getting these out the way. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be continue doing these redo reviews because I go back and I watch my old videos and they are awful. They are so bad. I'll be sitting there, this figure is good. And it's just, it never was a good interpretation of the figures. I think a lot of these figures are a lot better than I gave them credit for. Because then, I was new, you know, I wasn't really that much into figures. I kind of only bought FNAF figures, and that's not a good place to start. So, yeah, I need to re-update my opinion. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys all so much for the support. The 500 subscriber special went great. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Yo, hoo-hoo. And thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. I'll probably be doing I might do a redo review of some of the Wave 2 figures. I know those are more recent than some of these older ones, but I might change it up a little bit, just do some redo reviews. And if you guys have anything you want to see me redo review, comment it in the sit down below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.